The nation's industrial output, retail sales, and facility investment fell from a month earlier in January, according to Statistics Korea, raising concerns about a prolonged economic slowdown.
올해 1월 우리나라 생산과 소비 투자 지표가 전월 대비 일제히 하락하면서 경기 부진 장기화에 대한 우려가 커지고 있습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, this is concerning news. So they say that industrial production went down 2.7% last month. This is reversing a brief gain that they saw in December that followed 3 consecutive months of decline. And of course, this is according to data that was compiled by Statistics Korea. And they say that retail sales, which is a gauge of private spending, went down 0.6% from a month earlier in January. Facility investment saw a sharp decline in that month, falling 14.2% from the previous month. And this marks the first time since October that all 3 indicators have fallen simultaneously.
And it's odd because we had the 설 명절, which is normally when people spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
But despite that, we are seeing spending going down and all of the other things that you mentioned there.
Yeah.
One of the reasons could be the uncertainty about US tariffs.
Right.
And that was, of course, announced early on when President Trump was elected. And so I guess the insecurity or the uncertainty about imposing those tariffs around the world that contributed.
So, I mean, the government is definitely keeping that in mind. So they're saying that in line with, they did have some countermeasures in plan for the first quarter. So in line with that, the government did mention that it will push forward with some key policy initiatives in a quicker pace and continue to devise additional support measures to try to lift up the economy so that perhaps we don't see this prolonged economic slowdown.
그렇죠. 이제 지속되지 않기를 바라고 있는데 지금 얘기하는 3가지 지표가 산업 생산, 또 소비, 그리고 투자 지표입니다. 전부 다 1월 달에 내려갔다. 하락했다는 소식이고요. 이게 이제 언제에 비해서 내려갔느냐. 이게 너무 중요하죠. With any business news, we have to know what we're comparing it to.
Right.
이 경우에는 from a month earlier.
Right. So we see this in the news a lot, especially as you mentioned, when we are comparing some sort of data from another period in time. So we're looking at 2 different time periods and we're comparing the same sort of figures from that period and now. So when we say from a month earlier, we're looking at the same figures for some sort of stat from now and the same period from that month earlier.
그래요. 그래서 그 전달에 비해라는 뜻으로 from a month earlier라고 표현을 할 수 있죠. You could also say compared to a month earlier. 자, 그다음으로 economic slowdown.
Right, economic slowdown. So this is, I guess, a period when economic growth kind of slows. It slows down. So that impacts the ability of consumers to buy goods and services.
여기서 말하는 게 경기 후퇴, 경기 부진 이런 겁니다. 불경기죠. Economic slowdown. I guess the opposite might be an economic boom when things are going up. All right, let me read this one more time. The nation's industrial output, retail sales, and facility investment fell from a month earlier in January, according to Statistics Korea, raising concerns about a prolonged economic slowdown.